Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Do you like the background? It's called my messy bedroom. I love it. So if you are new here, my name's Eileen. I go by the name Chaotic Mom on YouTube here, and I have been gone for a very long time. I have been probably gone for about 6 months consecutively. In there I've done a video or two. I don't even know if I posted it. That's how good my memory is. So in today's video, we're going to put on some makeup and we're going to talk about where I've been and what I've been up to. Stay tuned. Okay, so I hope that I'm going to be able to talk to the camera appropriately and put on my makeup because I'm on the floor, as you can see, and I'm looking up. That's really weird. So I'm going to try my best to not look weird and keep looking at the camera like I am because I feel self-conscious. Okay, where am I looking? Okay, that's fine. All right, if you hear any background noise, it's because my husband's just out the window right there cooking on the grill because it's Sunday night. Okay, so Sunday night, it's like 6 o'clock and I'm going to do my makeup. I figure it would just be something for me to do while I talk to you. So, how have you guys been? It has been crazy for me. We're going to start in August. We're starting in August, guys. Actually, no, we're not. No, we're not. We're starting before August. We're starting like February, March of 2021. Lots of headaches, lots of just migraine-y all the time. Like all the time. I felt like I had a migraine all the time. So me and my husband were sitting around talking one day and he's like, what about your antidepressant? Do you think that could be causing it? I'm like, you know what? Let me look up. So I look up and sure enough, the antidepressant I was on, and I'm not naming names because I'm not a doctor and I'm not going to go around naming names. The antidepressant that I was on, sure enough, had a history of possible migraines. So I was like, you are so smart. Let me go to the doctor. I'm looking for something to clean off my brush with. Anyway, so I was like, let me go to the doctor and see if there's like another type of antidepressant that's not so like side effect of migraine and headaches and stuff. So that is what I did. I went to the doctor and I asked her, I'm like, hey, so is there a chance that this antidepressant is giving me migraines? And she was like, well, yeah, of course, that, you know, that line of antidepressants has been known to cause headaches. And I'm like, okay, cool, let's try something else. She's like, great, let's try something else. So she put me on a completely different antidepressant. Well, the problem was I had to wean off of one to get on the other because they weren't the same type of antidepressant. And that's where all hell broke loose. So I'm weaning off the antidepressant and I'm thinking, oh my God, my headaches are getting so much better, right? That was the goal, to make sure that my headaches didn't like come around every day. So I'm like, man, this is so awesome. I feel so much better. So then we're doing pink if you couldn't tell. So then I get myself weaned off of that, right? And I'm like, oh, well, I feel great, right? I feel good. That's good. So I put off getting on the second one. And that's where I went wrong, ladies and gentlemen. So I got off the first one and I thought, oh, I feel so good. Trust the process. I know I look like a clown. So I was like, oh my God, I feel so good. So I'm just going to hold off on starting that second one to see if maybe I don't even need the antidepressant, right? It's possible. So I held off and I held off and I held off until things were not good. Not good. Not being able to get out of bed, constantly crying. Oh my God, I was such a crybaby. I just can't even. I cried about everything. I cried about what I wanted to make for breakfast in the morning. Not lying. I cried about what I was going to eat at night. I mean, decisions were a no-go for me. As you can see, eating is just like constantly making decisions. That was a no-go for me. I didn't want to make any decisions, including eating. So I started on the other antidepressant, and it was a roller coaster, but I got where I needed to be with it. So that puts us to August. In between there, I took a vacation to Florida with the two girls, and that was amazing. So I did enjoy that. Went and saw my best friend in North Carolina. That was amazing. So then comes August, and I've got everybody around me. Oh, you need to get the vaccine. You need to get the vaccine. You need to get the vaccine. I'm just going to preface this by saying I don't care what you do. I don't give a crap. Do you? I was against it though. I didn't want it, but I had everybody like in my ear. Oh, you need to get the vaccine. Oh, you need to get the vaccine. And then I heard a couple people that were kind of not very nice about, oh, you need to get the vaccine. You're a mother, like what kind of mother are you if you don't get this vaccine? You're going to die. Well, that makes you feel like crap. So I was like, oh my God, I do need to get the vaccination. I just need to get it because, I just need to get it. So on August 20th, I went to our local CVS and I got vaccinated. And the whole time I was like, man, I need to walk away. And I felt like that a couple times before in my life. And a couple times I have walked away and a couple times I've stayed. And every time I've stayed with that feeling of I need to leave, I've regretted it. So at 43 years old, I should have known. If your gut's telling you to leave, leave. But I didn't. I stayed. And the next morning I woke up and I felt good. So I was like, okay, cool. Vaccine, day 1, done. Then partway through day 1, I started to get, the arm pain from where the vaccine was. And I was like, okay, kind of expected this. That's what vaccines do. They give you arm pain and a fever or whatever. I don't get vaccinations, by the way. I get the ones that I had to when I was in medicine, but which I think was like hepatitis B or something. And then I would get the little pin pricks for tuberculosis, but I found out I can't do that anymore because I was exposed to TB sometime in like my early 20s, late teens. And so I can't do that pin prick anymore for the tuberculosis because it'll always come back positive. But I did take a set of pills that supposedly like gets rid of the tuberculosis, whatever. Anyway, so I get chest x-rays instead of TB pricks. But my point is I don't get vaccinations. So that's why I didn't really know what to expect. So anyway, the next couple days were okay. I had the typical vaccination. I had, body aches, joint pain, and arm pain where the vaccination was given. Cool. A couple days later, felt fine. Good. So on August 26th, which was 6 days after the vaccination, I woke up and my thighs hurt, just the top of my thighs, like I had been doing squats the day before. I was like, what is that about? I know for a fact I have not been doing squats, and I just couldn't pinpoint it, but whatever. So that weekend I just let it go because I thought for sure it had something to do with my muscles because it felt like muscle pain. Then come Monday, I'm like, something is not right here. Like, this is really hurting me and it's not getting better. So I called the doctor and I didn't really know what to tell him because it was not joint pain, it was muscle pain. So I was like, I have pain in my muscles. And they were like, okay, well, can you come in on Thursday? And I'm like, that was Tuesday, I think. I'm like, yeah, I can come in Thursday. So I go in on Thursday, and by Thursday, it had gotten to the point where, like, I could only walk to, like, the bathroom. I was outside trying to walk every day up and down my neighborhood street because I didn't know what was happening to me. And I didn't want to, like, lose any muscle. And I had no idea what was going on. None. No clue what was going on at this point. So I go to the doctor, and I'm like, dude, it's really weird. Like, I woke up with really bad leg pain. And then it turned into, like, I can't really walk that far. Like, I can walk a couple steps, and then it feels like my legs are going to give out from underneath me. She's like, that's really weird. Maybe your lower back is, having problems, because I've had problems with my lower back. So, she orders some lab work, which just general lab work to make sure that my muscles weren't, like, putting out any chemicals or, you know what I mean? So she does that. This is very pink, but I like it. I think it's really pretty. So anyway, she does that, and everything's fine as far as my labs go, except for, of course, my ANA, which I knew was not going to come back normal, because my ANA never comes back normal, because I know I have some kind of immune system problem where my immune system attacks itself. I've known I've had that for a long time. I just don't know what I have. Like, we tested me for, I was negative for lupus, negative for rheumatoid arthritis. And so that came back positive, but she was like, maybe that's it. I'm like, I don't know. It just kept getting worse and worse. Finally, I called her like a week later, and I was like, listen, I can't walk, and I'm scared. Like, I can't walk. My legs are not carrying me properly. So she said, if it's that bad, you need to go to the emergency room. And I said, oh, Lord. So we were off to our local emergency room. Local meaning about 25 minutes away. It's over the bridge, because we suck over here on the eastern shore of Maryland, and we have, like, nothing that's worth a damn. So I go over there. She's like, can you feel your legs? The doctor over there is. And I said, yes, I can feel my legs. She's like, it doesn't sound like whatever that thing is that your legs go numb after vaccines. She's like, it doesn't sound like that because you have feeling there. But I couldn't, like, she did all the neurological testing on me, and I couldn't, like, push against her foot, or I couldn't push against her hand properly with my foot. And I had this really weird shaking going on. It was the weirdest freaking thing ever. So she's like, I don't know what's going on with you, but you need to get an MRI of your brain and of your spine because something's going on. I'm like, okay. So she orders a brain and spine, and she comes back and says, okay, we ordered it, and they should be able to get you in a couple minutes. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I've only been here like 2 hours. So then I said, well, I need something in my IV, like Versed or something, to calm me down, because I don't do well with any kind of tight spaces, like an MRI machine. So she's like, okay, cool. So she gives me, she gave me like pain meds and Versed, and I don't do medicine, you guys. So she gave me that stuff, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to be loopy for this. No problem. So I was kind of loopy, and they wheeled me in, and I was like, this is cool. I'm going to be able to do this. Let me tell you something. They put that mask over my face. They put a cage on your face to do an MRI. Lost it, people. Lost it. So she's like, well, you're maxed out on, like, what we can give you without a doctor here, without anesthesiology here. I'm like, are you kidding me? No, we're maxed out. Awesome. So she said, you're going to have to go to an open MRI, or you're going to have to come back here, and we're going to have to do a medicated MRI with anesthesia and everything. I'm like, oh no. So I thought, I'll do the open MRI. I'll be fine. So mind you, this is the beginning of September now, and I'm going to do the open MRI. Well, I'm sorry. I scheduled for the open MRI. I got into the open MRI about the middle of September. So I go in and try to do the open MRI. I got the first part of my lower back done, but then she informed me she had to put a cage over my face. Y'all, if I'm telling you I can't do an MRI because I'm claustrophobic and you send me to an open MRI, why would you think I would still be okay with a cage over my face? So I was like, absolutely not. I can't do it. I just can't do it. And I cried because I was so upset with myself. I wanted to be able to do it. I wanted to know what was wrong with me because at this point, my legs are giving out on me every day. I can't walk. I'm shaking like I have Parkinson's. And my life was like ruined and nobody could tell me why. So I leave there and she says, you're going to have to call and schedule for them to do like a full anesthesia MRI. That's what my doctor told me. So I'm like, okay, how do I do that? And she goes, well, I'll send over the orders, but I'm just going to tell you right now that it usually takes quite a while. Oh my gosh, that's so sparkly. For them to get back to you and schedule this. So I'm thinking, well, I don't really have any other choice. So I have to do that. So at this point, it's rolling into October. And I still can't walk. So I'm thinking, I don't know how I'm going to do Halloween's right around the corner. I was just upset. It was just upsetting that nobody could tell me what was going on. And I had no idea why I couldn't walk. And it was scary and upsetting. And that's just what it was. So I finally get scheduled for an anesthesia MRI November 16th, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. But I think it was like November 16th I finally got in for the MRI. My legs are going to sleep, sorry. And I get done with the MRI. Anesthesia went good. Everything's fine. I got to do my brows first. So the lady... She was just like, call your doctor and your doctor will give you results. Okay, got it. So as I'm leaving, stupid me, I knew better and I still did it. I'm so upset with myself at this point. Where is I don't know where my eyeliner is. I feel like I'm looking right at it, but I'm not. I mean, not my eyeliner, my brow pencil. Anyway, we'll use this one. So I'm thinking to myself, don't look up your results, Eileen, because you're not going to understand them. And if it's something bad, you're going to get upset. But I looked them up. Well, sure enough, it said something really friggin' weird. And I'm like, great. Now I got to call the doctor and wait for the doctor to call me back to explain to me what the hell this means. It said I had a sac of fluid on my spine. They called it a hematoma, which is blood. So, as you can imagine, I was nervous. Very, very nervous. So I called the doctor the next day because I'm not going to be the jerk that calls the day of the exam and is like, I want my results, because that's not how it works. So I called the next day and I'm like, listen, I had an MRI done yesterday and I was just wanting somebody to call me back today to explain the results because I don't understand them. And it says something on there that I need explained. Okay, fine. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Finally, somebody calls me and says, oh, well, That just means that you have fluid on your spine. Okay, awesome. What are we doing about it? That's the question. What are we doing? Before I had gotten the MRI, in the meantime, I had been to a brain and spine surgeon. I went to a neurologist. My neurologist didn't want anything to do with me as soon as he saw that I had a fluid collection on my spine. He was the first person to explain that to me because the primary care didn't call me back until Monday, and I had an appointment with my neurologist on Friday. Is that it? No, it must have been Monday the neurologist called me, and Tuesday my primary called me. Anyway, so the neurologist tells me, he asked me first, am I the first one you're talking to? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, okay, you need to go to Johns Hopkins Hospital, like now, because you need an evaluation by a neurosurgeon now. So I'm a little flipped out. And I'm like, hey, well, it was a Friday. That's right, it was a Friday. So I'm like, do I have to go right now? And he's like, tomorrow morning, get up, take a shower, pack a bag, and go ahead and go through the emergency room and tell him you need a neurosurgery consult for a hematoma on your spine. Get the picture of the MRI and get the report so you can bring that with you. Start to flip out a little bit. So I went ahead and did that. And I go to Johns Hopkins. Well, here's what happened. So they get me back to do the triage part with a nurse, and they did my blood pressure. Well, I didn't realize at this point, but I eventually did figure it out, that anytime anybody applied pressure to me is when my nerves started going crazy. Like whenever anybody would test my reflexes, my nerves would go crazy and I'd start shaking just uncontrollably like that. So they did my blood pressure, and sure enough, I'm in the waiting room and I start shaking and my legs are killing me. And I'm like, oh God, here we go again. I forgot to tell you, by the end of September, I had gone to bed one night with all these leg problems, and I woke up the next morning with no problems at all as far as my legs went. It went away overnight. The sensation of not being able to walk went away overnight. It lasted 6 weeks. So it was the very beginning of October that it went away. So anyway, now we're at Johns Hopkins and my legs are starting to hurt again and I'm shaking and I'm like, okay, great, this is coming back. So I started crying. I was really upset. Everybody's like, you have to calm down. You have to calm down. And I'm like, you guys have no idea what I went through. I couldn't walk for 6 weeks. Like, I could not walk. In order to go to the grocery store, I had to park at the very front of the grocery store, grab a cart, and go in and just do like what I needed. I couldn't do like a whole week's worth of grocery shopping. My legs would have never held me up. I would have fallen over. So when people are like, oh, you've got to calm down, I'm like, you guys have no idea what I've been through, and I don't want it to come back. So they did all these tests and they said, you have to do another MRI in 2 weeks. I'm like, awesome, check this out. I can't do MRIs. That doesn't even look like it's the same. There we go. So I'm like, I can't do MRIs. You have to completely sedate me. And she's like, okay, well, that's fine. I'll just put it in the order that you have to be sedated. And I'm thinking, it cannot possibly be that easy, but whatever, I'm not in charge. So sure enough, I wait for a phone call from them because I'm supposed to see them in 1 to 2 weeks for follow-up and an MRI. So at the end of 2 weeks, I still haven't heard anything. Surprise, surprise. I had called and told them, this is what I need. They're like, oh, we don't do that. Huh. Well, you're gonna. She tried to tell me they don't do sedated MRIs. She's like, you have to come in and get like all the Valium and everything first and see if that works. And like, first of all, I already did that at another hospital. Second of all, I am 43 years old. I know darn well I can't do it. I don't even like taking drugs. I don't want to be under anesthesia, but I have to be. So finally she was like, all right, well, let me try to find somebody that I can talk to about this and then I'll call you back. So I never heard back. I ended up having to call patients advocacy because it was coming up on my 2 weeks and I couldn't get anybody to call me back. And at this point I had already talked to my neurologist, and he literally dismissed me, literally out of his office. He was like, why are you here? And I said, because they told me in the emergency room to follow up with you in a week. He goes, I have nothing else I can do for you. Okay. So if you have any more questions or anything I can help you with, then go ahead and call my office. Have a great day. Okay. Okay. So this is where this is like the treatment I'm getting now. Nobody's calling me back. He dismissed me out of his office. Everybody's just being so like blasé about this. And I'm over here thinking, you have no idea what I've been through. Like, it's so scary. So anyway, I call patient advocacy and I'm like, I don't want anybody to get in trouble. I just want somebody to call me back. I just need to get this done. It's supposed to be done now. And if you have to get together an anesthesia team or something, it's going to take a long time. So can please somebody just call me back? So she called me back. Actually, X-Ray called me and said, oh, we're ready to set you up. We got it all figured out. And I said, what did you get figured out? Oh, well, we're going to work on the anesthesia part, but we're going to set you up for the MRI like 3 days after that. So I was like, okay, I can handle that. So now we're in November, right? Or we were in the end of November. That's right. So here we're at the second week of December. I'm getting an MRI done, a follow-up MRI. And it was December 14th, and it showed that I didn't have a larger hematoma, but it had shrunken just a tiny bit. But that was enough for them. So I said, I'm good with that. If you're good with that, I'm good with that. So she said, the neurologist or the neurosurgeon, she said, well, it looks like you're doing great. And I said, I am. She said, so as long as you're headed in the right direction with your legs and everything, and this looks like it's shrinking, we're just going to leave you alone for right now and let your body heal. But please remember that your body's healing and be patient with it. You know me, I'm not patient with my body. So anyway, I said, okay, well, that sounds good to me. So that was the middle of December. December 27th, Selena comes home from work and says, oh, I just do not feel good. Now, mind you, Selena was fully vaccinated. She got both shots. I got her both shots. She's like, I don't feel good. Okay, go in your room. So she comes out the next day, she's running a fever. At that point, we could do home COVID tests because we had them at CVS, so my husband goes and gets one. Actually, he got two. And they had 2 in them each, so made Selena do one. Positive, like way positive. So I said, okay, well, Selena's got COVID. The rest of us just need to stay away from her, you know, let her use one bathroom, the whole 9. So, that's what we did. And by January 3rd, I was sicker than crap. So Hannah and Selena got it, and then me and William got it. It was so fun. Not really. It sucked. Rather bad, actually. It was not a good time. And I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. you're wondering if you should get COVID or not, but probably you've gotten it already because everybody's gotten it. So, that's where I've been. That's what I've been up to. Spent half of my year depressed and the other half not being able to walk. So, fun was had by all. But yeah, it was crazy, to say the least. So I don't know if anybody else has had a story like mine, but I would love to hear your story. Any kind of like medical intervention story, I would love to hear it. Any kind of medical mystery, that's what I'm saying. Because even though I was not happy having a medical mystery, it's kind of fun to hear about them. So if you have a medical mystery, I just wiped it with the back. If you have a medical mystery, and of course you're fine now, let me know. I want to know about your medical mystery. So that was mine. It was very not fun. I didn't enjoy it. And that's the story I'm sticking to. I do need to report it. Still haven't reported it. I need to report it. It's just been one thing after another around here, though. So that's why I haven't reported it. I just haven't had time, I guess you could say. It's been a half an hour that I've been doing this. All right, now to contour, and I have no idea how to do it, so laugh at me all you want. I literally have no idea how to contour, so this is what I am gonna do. And this thing looks like it's seen better days. I put the lid on it. So, that's what I do. It might be wrong. Then again, it might be right. Look at how much higher that one is. Look orange. Don't worry, we're gonna fix that because soon I'm gonna look brown. Huge forehead. Now I'm gonna go in and make it muddy instead of orange with this Hanalea matte bronzer that looks like that. I forgot to bronze my nose. Just the sides. That looks so ridiculous, but whatever. It does look ridiculous, but whatever. Putting some underneath there. I always put bronzer underneath to make it look like I have a big pouty lip. All right. We've got two things. Oh, yeah, I forgot to freaking powder my face. What's up with that? I never forget to powder my face. But then again, they tell you that when you're older, you kind of want a dewy glow anyway because it makes you look older to be matte, which is why we're not going overboard with that. And then we're gonna do some shimmery. Shimmer. We're gonna put them on the high parts of our cheekbones so it looks like the sun has kissed us. But I stay away from that crow's feet area right there. You don't want it up in your crow's feet. Trust me. And if you have really big bags right there, watch out for those too. You don't want it to accentuate the puffy areas right there. All right. We are almost done, y'all. It only took forever. I don't know where the lid to this is. Oh, I got makeup all over myself. It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry. It's good. What am I doing? I'm getting an eyeliner. Because that's how I roll. It's a brown eyeliner. It's how I've always rolled. All the way back to my 20s. And I know people are probably like, oh my god, that is so 1990 to use a brown liner. You know what I have to say to them? Don't use it. That's what I have to say to them. Don't freaking use it. All right, we're going in with, I don't know, some MUA makeup crap. It's like a brown. And down the sides. I do this like ombre look. Pretty sure I don't know that person. I got lip gloss. It's really light and really pink. So, see how I've got the dark on and then I've got this just kind of blending in with it. And then here's the finishing touch. Okay, ready? Take your concealer. Get a little bit on your finger. Ooh, a little bit. Right here. And blend it out. That way, you get pouty lips. There you have pouty lips. So I'm done. This is it. And after I get off here, I'm just going to go in the bathroom and take it all off. Because it's Sunday night and I have nowhere to be. And my hair is a mess. So that was it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you will stick around and be patient with me while I make more content. All right, I will see you in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you don't want to miss any of my videos. Bye.